conductive evaluations to help the club maintain positive, friendly environment called upon to do so, to treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy, to bring guests to club meetings so they can see the benefits Toastmasters offers, to adhere to the guidelines and rules for our Toastmasters educational programs, to maintain honest and highly ethical standards during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities. Ladies and gentlemen, all very kindly for your guidelines before I entrust the spotlight to the presiding officer of today's meeting. Please, throughout the proceedings of today's meeting, encourage of you to keep your microphone muted. We want the speakers to concentrate 100%. Next up, we use the chat channel for communication. Notwithstanding, when a speaker spotlight, it is prudent to abstain from the chat boxes, constrained for the speaker who share insights or advance their ideas in this light. Or ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, I will intro to the presiding officer to advance his inspirational insights. Ladies and gentlemen, the presiding officer is the president of our club. Our presiding officer is a communications consultant and a writer. He began his Toastmasters journey in 2013. Today, he is the incumbent and the club growth director too for F. Ladies and gentlemen, our presiding officers love pursuits, are running, reading, and pondering on the human mission. Please, with the thunderous round of applause to welcome for live distinguished Toastmaster Kubio Yaya.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Craig Oesowode, for a kind introduction. Good evening, Toastmasters, esteemed friends. I welcome you all to this last meeting of Merry Toastmaster Club in the 2021-2022 Toastmaster Year. I welcome everyone here on the call and those joining us on YouTube on the stream. And as always, we are going to enjoy presentations and evaluations which shall inform us, educate us, and of course, leave us better people. Now to the theme of the meeting, Ignite. Yes, ignite. See, a machine will not come to life if its engine is not ignited. A matchstick will not burst into flames if the stick is not struck on the phosphoric side of the matchbox. Likewise, human potential, it shall not be realized or maximized if not ignited. How do you ignite human potential? By taking action on your plans, by reading that book, by supporting that mentor, by doing those things which increase you and increase other people. And what more, what better time to change your mind, change your behavior, change your approach, and ignite not just yourself, but others, but at the eve of a new year, at the eve of a new Toastmasters year. So ladies and gentlemen, my charge to you today is ignite. Yes, ignite. Now I hand over control to that gentleman who is going to act as our master of ceremonies for this meeting. In Toastmasters, we call that person the Toastmaster of the day, or the TMOD. He is a TV host, a spelling bee presenter, and of course, a communications coach also. He serves as the Vice President Education of this club. And very interestingly, he is also the 2021 District 94 Evaluations Champion. Please make very welcome that man with the very interesting habit of, and rather very interesting hobby of studying dictionaries, the ebullient, the eloquent, the quintessential English doctor, Toastmaster Craig O. Esowode. Toastmaster, okay, I will hold forth until Toastmaster Craig comes forward. Usually, in Toastmasters meetings, we have three main segments. There is that segment for speech presentations that have been prepared for, scheduled on the agenda, and these presenters come forward to give these presentations. And also we have that other segment of presentations that have not been prepared for, the table topics segment. And after the table topics segment, the prepared presentation segment, we have the mother of all segments, because it is the one where we learn them from, we get the most from, which is the evaluation segment. Of course, these different segments help us to become better speakers, become better listeners, become better individuals as we practice them in of the meeting. Now, before we proceedings of today, I'd like to invite that person who will serve as the chief evaluator and shall anchor the evaluations team that shall give us the feedback on how well we do and how better we can do in certain aspects of our presentation. Now, the general evaluator for this meeting is, oh, wonderful. We have the Toastmaster of the day back on the call. So I'd like to come back to our brilliant English doctor, Toastmaster Craig. So,
thank you. Very kind. I don't question. All right, I'm going to continue from here. My second device is not in rude health at the moment. I will log out of that device and return to the meeting. I will carry on from here in the meantime. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can hear me, give me the thumbs up. I hope this one is better.
A lot better, yes. Thank you.
All right, I will log out. All right, I will log out my second device and try to rejoin the meeting, but the show will go on this one. As our presiding officer has mentioned with unparalleled eloquence, the meeting has three segments. First, we're going to have the extemporaneous speeches. Thereafter, we shall move on to have poetry and music presentation. And after that, we shall go on to have the evaluation segment. Evaluation is an essential prerequisite to an educational Toastmasters meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, before we go into the crux of the meeting, I'd like to relinquish control to the person who is going to provide the meeting with a note of levity. This individual is known as a humorist or joke master. Fellow Toastmasters, our humorist for this meeting is a civil servant who luxuriates in cooking, especially spaghetti. She's a new member of our club, and she's the Sergeant at Arms elect of Mary's Toastmasters Club. Please join me to welcome to the spotlight Toastmaster Valadino Adaobi.
Thank you, the Toastmaster. It's good to be back. My role as the joke master is to entertain everyone. Fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests, have you ever wondered why most African national football teams derive their names from animals? Interesting. You will hear them say names like the Lions of Cameroon versus the Elephants of Côte d'Ivoire, Super Eagles of Nigeria versus the Hawks of Togo, Antelopes of Ethiopia versus Eagles of Mali. Maybe there's something we don't know. Joke number 2. A wife confronted her husband and said, "If I knew you were this poor, I wouldn't have gotten married to you." Then the husband responded with a smile and said, "Woman, what were you thinking when I told you you were the only thing I had in the world?" Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you very kindly for that, Toastmaster Valadino, for your palpable flashes of exhilarating, humorous lines. Fellow Toastmasters, friends and guests, we're now going to move on to the next section, which is to unveil our chief evaluator. Our chief evaluator is an educational consultant, an early years teacher, a TEDx speaker, and an applied behavior analysis trainer. She is a multilinguist, a food enthusiast, and guess what? She is an aficionado of traveling and reading. She is the immediate past president of Commercial Hub Toastmasters Club. Our favorite quotation is, "Your attitude determines your altitude." Please join me to welcome Toastmaster Zainab Adam.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Am I audible?
Very audible.
Okay. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. It is a great honor for me to be serving as the General Evaluator at Merry Toastmasters Club. This is my first time here, so I'm so excited. As the General Evaluator, I am going to be evaluating everything that goes right, everything that goes wrong, what we do well, and then what everyone, all the role players are going to be doing this. But obviously, I will not be conducting my role as the General Evaluator all by myself. So I have a team of role players, competent role players, who will be assisting me in delivering my role as General Evaluator. So the first person I'll be calling on is the timekeeper. The timekeeper for this evening is in person of Toastmaster Josephine Agolo. Josephine is an entrepreneur. She's the sergeant at arms of Lento Toastmasters Club. She loves shopping, and her favorite quote is, "Nothing comes easy." Please welcome with me with a virtual applause, Toastmaster Josephine Agolo. Over to you. those people.
Many thanks, our General Evaluator, for the warmth of your welcome. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests, including our distinguished Toastmaster. Jolly good afternoon to you. Time isn't the main thing. It is the only thing, as said by Miles Davis. Yes, my role for today is your timer. As you can see, I've started my job already. Yes, the Toastmaster of the day has earlier told us that the meeting is divided into 3 segments. The extemporaneous speaking segment. This is the time where Toastmasters and guests are meant to speak for at least 1 minute. Maximum of 2 minutes, 30 seconds, just so your speech will be eligible for voting. And how are you going to know that you have spoken for 1 minute? I'm going to be flashing my cards. The green card indicates that you have spoken for 1 minute. The yellow card indicates that you have spoken for 1 minute, 30 seconds. While the red card indicates that you have spoken for 2 minutes. Yes, don't be alarmed. You still have 30 seconds to wrap up your thoughts. Yes, these are the cards. Then for the second segment, which is a poetry and music segment, time has been allocated to all of this segment, and I'm sure speakers, all the musicians, the poets in the house, they are acquainted with the time. So please, as you flash the card, watch it and try to work along with me. Then for the evaluation segment, we don't have speeches for today. Usually, if there are speeches, evaluators that will evaluate for 2 minutes minimum, 2 minutes, 30 seconds for the yellow card, 3 minutes for the red card, and at 3 minutes, 30 seconds, evaluators are meant to wrap up their evaluations. So I employ us to work with me, kindly pay attention to the card, just so that we ignite our passion as per time management. And it's back to you, our brilliant General Evaluator.
Thank you most kindly for that wonderful elucidation of your role as the timekeeper for this afternoon. Now, moving on very swiftly, I'll be introducing the next team player that will be assisting me in delivering my role as General Evaluator. And that is the language evaluator. The language evaluator for this afternoon is in person of Distinguished Toastmaster RSB. Distinguished Toastmaster RSB is the past president of Merit Toastmasters Club and the immediate past president of T&T Toastmasters Club. He deals in, RSB deals in supply of equipment. So over to you, Distinguished Toastmaster RSB.
Thank you so much, Chief Evaluator Toastmaster Zainab. Ladies and gentlemen, as your language evaluator today, please see me as your grammar sentinel. And I have just 3 major responsibilities. Today, the first thing I'm going to be watching out, I'm going to listen for, and I'm going to highlight anything that has to do with brilliant elocution and diction, use of grammar, and use of syntax. Secondly, I'll also listen for, and when I'm called upon, highlight those areas of speech where I think we might improve upon, especially by way of grammar and by way of speaking, by way of language, and by way of diction as well. Lastly, but certainly not least, I will be introducing you to a word, a certain word which I would like you to add to your vocabulary. And that word is referred to as the word of the day. In line with today's theme, ladies and gentlemen, our word of the day for today, which I expect every person that comes to the virtual lectern to use, is somebody projecting that for me? Is somebody sharing that for me? The word of the day. Do we have the Zoom master attempting to project for me? Is Zoom master still there? Okay. The word of the day for today is kindle. The word of the day for today, ladies and gentlemen, is kindle. Kindle is the same or synonymous with the word ignite. And it simply means you want to arouse, you want to light up, you want to make something more interesting. As we have seen here, you want to inspire. And a typical sentence is performance kindled my imagination. Or his speech today was so picturesque, it kindled my imagination. Synonyms of that word kindle, which is a verb, by the way, include incite, arouse, provoke, inflame. Ladies and gentlemen, just remember, if you cannot use the word kindle, our charter president used to have this gadget pre-COVID days, and it is called a Kindle. Kindle is expected to help you kindle your interest in reading so much you start wondering where books were all your life. Toastmasters Club platform should kindle your interest in oratory. A good mentor should kindle the interest of a protege in continuous self-development. Ladies and gentlemen, please use the word kindle freely. The general evaluator.
Thank you most kindly for that elucidation of your role as the language evaluator. Now we will be moving on to the next role player, who is the R master, in person of distinguished Toastmaster Monisola Ayesi Moju. I hope I did justice to that name. Distinguished Toastmaster Monisola Ayesi Moju as our R counter for this afternoon. Over to you, distinguished Toastmaster Monisola.
General Evaluator, thank you so much for that effort to kindle the meaning of my name by your effort to pronounce it right. Well done. My role this afternoon is an opportunity for me to improve my observational and listening skills. Playing this role, I shall note any overused words or filler sounds used as a crutch during this meeting. What may be inappropriate interjections such as, well, but, so, you know, or sounds such as or. Toastmasters and guests, I enjoin you not to use those unnecessary interjections or words to discount the quality of your communication. Avoid them to ignite your efforts to communicate, the general evaluator.
Thank you so much, distinguished.
All right. It would appear that her internet is, all right, Zainab, all right, take the floor.
Toastmaster Lucy.
Might I request Emmanuel, please switch off your microphone. Zoom master, keep an eye on the microphone, please.
All right.
Emmanuel.
So, look, Toastmaster Lucy Chima is a retired businesswoman. She's an affable grandmother and a treasurer of Merit Toastmasters Club. She will be serving as the quiz master for this evening. So over to you, Toastmaster Lucy Chima.
Thank you so kindly for your kind introduction. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. It was Lyndon Johnson, one of the foremost presidents of America, who said, if you are not listening, you are not learning. As a quiz master for today's meeting, I'm going to listen very attentively to anyone who comes up to Lenten to speak, and I urge you to do so, because at the end of this segment, when called upon to give my reports, I will ask 1, 2, 3 questions to determine your listening ability. The general evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Lucy Chima. So, those are my team of role players that will be assisting me in delivering my role as the general evaluator for this afternoon. I will be coming back with my team at the better part of the meeting to give our report. I hope we'll all be listening keenly, and we will listen to beautiful art, poetry that will kindle our love for communication. Over to you, the Toastmaster of the day.
Madam General Evaluator, you were able to demonstrate the fact that indeed your attitude determines your altitude. Many thanks for your impeccable moderation skills. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, we are going to transition into the extemporaneous speaking segment of the meeting protocol. And I trust that the speakers will kindle our collective imagination. Are you ready? Okie dokie then. Our extemporaneous speaking host today is an individual I consider to be a bosom friend. He's a mechanical engineer who, quirkily enough, has a predilection for philosophical undertakings. Ladies and gentlemen, this impeccable gentleman is currently the Vice President of Education of Tutors and Trainers Toastmasters Club and the President-elect of the club. His leisure activities or recreations are writing, reading, and one more thing, which I think is indisputably intriguing. Listening to podcasts with a thunderous, resounding, rapturous round of applause. Please join me, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome to the spotlight our extemporaneous speaking host, Toastmaster Francis Hiabi.
Well, don't mind me. That was my smiley face. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. It is my delight to be here this afternoon to serve as the teacher. I was once an engineer. I used to handle various sizes of spanner, screwdrivers, and other mechanical tools until something ignited my curiosity or ignited my passion that I've had since I was a child to become a writer and of course to tend or to drift towards philosophy. Today, we are not going to be talking about philosophy, but we're going to be talking about what ignites us as human beings. Table topics is something that we do every day. We talk to ourselves every day. We have our secret conversations with ourselves. But the difference is that we are going to be sharing those secret conversations with us this afternoon. That is the difference. And of course, table topics is for 2 minutes. When it is 1 minute, the timer will show the green card. Once you have spoken for 2 minutes, the timer will signify with the yellow card. And once you've spoken for 2 minutes, the timer will raise the red card. And you have 30 seconds to round off your speech. Are we ready? Are we ready? I have 3 questions. And the interesting part is that the first 2 volunteers, you get to choose. I have 3 questions. The first 2 volunteers gets to choose. And the third person, of course, you take the last question. Just 3 questions. Who are volunteers? Okay, I have Toastmaster Oluwatoyin Bolajoko, Liz Iwoha, and of course, who we fortune favors, because fortune favors the brave. Who will take the last one? Well, let me start with the first. So, Toastmaster Oluwatoyin Bolajoko, which question will you choose? And of course, we have Abdul Wahab Akelade. I can't hear you, Oluwatoyin. I can't.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, loud and clear. I can hear you now.
All right. Good afternoon, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. I'm sorry, Mr. Table Topics Master. I would like to go with question 3.
Oh, question number 3. Books, they say, can ignite fires in your mind because they carry ideas for kindling and an act for matches. That is a quote by Gary Smith. But my question for you is, what books or a book have you read that have had the most impact or that have kindled your curiosity?
Okay, thank you so much for that question, Mr. Table Topics Master. Indeed, books can kindle your curiosity, and coincidentally or fortunately, I am such a reader. I love reading. It's one of my hobbies. In fact, I was so much of a reader that when I was a child, I spent so much time in the library. They had no choice but to make me the library prefect because that was the only thing I was good at. I've read a lot of books. However, one of the books that I know that kindled my curiosity and helped me to see the world from a deeper meaning is The Alchemist. The Alchemist, two books actually, The Alchemist and Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren, and The Alchemist by, I think, John Cello. These books provide you with deeper meanings. You know, we have this question that we usually ask ourselves, what is the meaning of life, or what is life about? But these two books tell you what to look towards to your purpose. It kindles a fire in you to begin to look inward, self-reflection, to begin to think more about people and to follow a life which is purposeful. It is because I read some of these books that I became a Toastmaster, because I realized that for me to be able to kindle this passion in other people, I have to be able to use my voice, speak, and learn how to be a better person. And that's why I joined Toastmasters Club. And even in Toastmaster, the Toastmasters platform kindles passion in me to be a better speaker, a better reader, and a better communicator. So I agree with the quote that books indeed kindle your passion and spark your curiosity. And the two books that have done that for me is The Alchemist and Purpose-Driven Life. Thank you so much.
To you, Toastmaster Oluwatoyin Bolajoko, for stepping up to take the question. Of course, we have our second speaker, Liz Iwo.
Good afternoon, the David Master.
Good afternoon. So I have questions 1 and 2 left. So which will you take?
Question 1, please.
Question 1. I would like to ask, do you have a passion? Do you have what you love?
Do I have a passion?
Yeah, what do you have passion for? What do you have passion for?
Okay. Thank you so kindly.
That is not the question. Just tell me what you have passion for.
If I have a passion.
Okay.
I have a passion.
Can you tell us what is holding you back from igniting that passion? Or if you've already ignited your passion, tell us what your passion is and how it got ignited. Do you understand?
I would like to repeat the question.
Okay.
What my passion?
What do you think is holding you back from igniting your passion?
Holding me back from, wow. Okay, I have a passion of serving people, community service. And do I think there's really anything holding me back from igniting my passion? Sometimes I would look at it to say, financially, I would like to help people, but I am constrained in a way. Now, where I cannot help financially, what do? I use what I have, which is my voice, to ignite that passion. I don't let anything hinder me from carrying out what I love to do in my own little way. I mustn't have all to give so much. So in my own little way, I try as much as possible not to let anything stop me from carrying out my passion, because passion drives my success. So as far as I know, I don't let anything limit me from letting my passion show out. My passion makes me happy. My passion keeps me going. So for now, as of today, nothing is limiting me from igniting my passion. Over to you, the Table Topics Master. Thank you.
Well done. Well done, of course. I love your brilliant response. Nothing is holding you back from expressing what makes you come alive. And our last speaker this afternoon will be Abdul Wahab. Are you still on the call? I saw you raise your hand. You were the third person. Quickly, if you are still on the call. Yes, Abdul Wahab Akinladi. Can you hear me, please? Okay. Oh, now we have Toastmaster Wale Thomas stepping in. And of course, this is the last question. And quickly, I will just give it to you straight. What ignites your soul and why? What ignites your soul and why? Wale Thomas.
Thank you, the table topic master. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
What ignites my soul? Without my soul, living will be very difficult.
Yeah, a little bit faint.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you better now.
What ignites my soul? Everything that we have, everything that we dream of, everything that we aspire, or whatever will kindle or arouse or inflame your soul comes from your heart. Your existence, your living, all that you live for exists from your soul. Without your soul, I don't think you have the life itself in you. So, being created in the image of the Creator himself, everything that I think that inspired me, that I long for, comes from my soul, and that also comes from what I see. What you see, what you hear, enters your heart. Whatever enters your heart enters your life. So the heart of the matter is the matter of the heart. And I live from my soul, and my dreams come from my soul. So I challenge every one of us today. Begin to live from your soul. Dream, and you will achieve whatever you dream. Back to you, the table topic master.
And you can keep speaking, but of course, time will not allow you. Well done for kindling my heart with that speech. And of course, well done to our table topic speakers. I really enjoyed your speeches. And of course, it kindled from the first person to the last. You gave something that all of us are going to take home with. Once again, thank you. And I'd like to relinquish control to the Toastmaster of the day, Craig.
Whoa! Francis, you're such a convivial host. Thank you very kindly for moderating the extemporaneous speaking segment, not only with gusto, but equally with finesse. Many thanks for that. I appreciate all of the respondents. When it comes to the extemporaneous speaking segment, I am as useless as a chocolate teapot. Okay, dokie then. Let's delve straight into the timekeeper's report. Madam Timekeeper, how did all of the respondents perform in the context of time control?
Thank you very kindly, the Toastmaster of the day, for bringing me back to the virtual lecture. Yes, our speakers did very well with time. In fact, they kindled their passion for time management. Toastmaster Bolajoko spoke for 1 minute, 54 seconds. Toastmaster Elizabeth, she spoke for 1 minute, 37 seconds. While Toastmaster Thomas Wale spoke for 1 minute, 32 seconds. And it's back to you, the Toastmaster of the day.
Whoa, that's invigorating. I am cock-a-hoop to know that all of the extemporaneous speaking respondents kindled their predilection for time control or time management. All right, Trophy Master, let's have the poll, please.
Okay.
We're going to vote before we trot off to the evaluation of the extemporaneous speaking respondents. Who do you think responded best to those kindling questions? Have you voted? I have voted. If you've already voted, can you give me the thumbs up like this? If you have voted. Oh, splendiferous. Many thanks for the feedback. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been said that evaluation is a free education to excellence. You would be delighted to know that the extemporaneous speakers would be evaluated by an experienced Toastmaster. I introduced him earlier. He is the presiding officer of today's meeting and the outgoing president of our distinguished club. He's a communications consultant and a writer. His leisure pursuits are reading, running, and pondering on the human condition. Please join me to entrust the spotlight to the person who's going to evaluate the table topics respondents, distinguished Toastmaster Kubu Yanga.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Craig, for your introduction. I'd like to congratulate all the table topic speakers for stepping forward and entertaining us, informing us, and educating us with their responses. Before I go into the evaluation of the speakers, I'd like to commend the table topics master for his expertful handling of the table topics session. He came out a showman wearing his glasses, grabbed attention. Of course, we focused and we're connected to the session. Well done to you, Toastmaster Francis Ahiabi. The first table topics speaker was Toastmaster Toyin Bolajoko, and the topic she responded to, the question was, what book has had the most impact on you and kindled your curiosity? She started out the ebullient Toastmaster that she is, smiled, which relaxed the audience, and started with a strong voice. Now, audiences care about speakers, and when speakers appear uncomfortable, the audience will be also uncomfortable and not focus on what the speaker has to say. So when a speaker exudes comfort and confidence, now the audience is free to connect to their message. So that smile was very wonderful, the strong voice and the confident stance, or the way you appeared in the frame was very commendable. I like the fact that she started with a short personal story about her library addiction, which made her relatable to us. I like that she segued into a real life experience to answer the question, naming, of course, The Alchemist and The Purpose-Driven Life, the books that she's enjoyed the most and has had the most impact on her. Her body language was commendable, well done. And I like the fact that she expertly weaved her presentation to come right back to that first quote that was shared by the table topics master, that books can ignite the fire in your passion and spark your curiosity. And that ended in a very well done call to action. I say congratulations to Toastmaster Bolajoko. The next table topic speaker was Toastmaster Elizabeth Iwoha. And her question was passion. What holds you back from igniting the passion? It was a compound question. And then it went further with, if you have ignited the passion, how did you go about that? It was a little confusing. It was a mouthful to digest, but she did something very expert by asking the Toastmaster who was a table topic master, to repeat the question. What this did was it bought her time to try to deconstruct that question and also helped her to clarify and understand exactly what was asked so that she could answer correctly. And when she got the question right, she went straight to mention what her passions were. I am not sure, but the way her body language was seemed like she didn't know exactly how to answer in the beginning. But she went ahead and mentioned what her passions were and mentioned how she engages and actualizes these passions. And in narrating this, it became self-evident that she is not held back from her passions. And of course, that answered the question. She has this perpetual disarming smile, which I commend. And of course, she had a good call to action. Next speaker, last not the least, was Toastmaster Wale Thomas. And the question that he responded to was, what ignites your soul? That's because I totally was blown away by the way he started that response. It was very mnemonic because it sounded something like everything that we own, everything that we have, everything that, it was sing-song and mnemonic, and there is no way that you hear something that's orally pleasing that you will not focus on the speaker. That was a good strategy to grab our attention and make your response interesting to us. I like the way, of course, he had confidence, and his eye contact could have been better. But aside from that, the whole presentation by Toastmaster Wale Thomas was chock full of rhetorical devices, and he concluded with something that sounded a rhyme that the heart of the matter is the matter of the heart. I give it to you, ladies and gentlemen, that the three table topic speakers today wowed me, and I believe they wowed you too. And all I can say at this point is, can we give them a resounding round of applause? Back to you, the Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you very kindly for your enthralling evaluation of the extemporaneous respondents. I trust that your evaluation will kindle their penchant for continuous learning and never-ending improvement. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to trot off to the next segment on the recipe. It is time for us to listen to poetry and music presentation. We're not going to listen to speeches today. We are going to go into the world of other flat out, fascinating facets of communication, poetry and music. Are you ready? Are you ready, everyone? You ready? If you're ready, type Y in the chat box. If you're ready. All right. Many thanks. Thank you all very kindly. Right, our first presenter is Toastmaster Efe Fagbeja. Toastmaster Efe Fagbeja would present a poem or a poem or a piece of poetry. Who is Toastmaster Efe? Efe is a speaker, writer, and corporate trainer. She is, in actual fact, specialized in leadership and emotional intelligence. Exquisitely enough, she has a special affinity for issues centered around women. The title of her poem or poem is Will You Go On? Will You Go On? I present to you Toastmaster Efe Fagbeja.
Thank you very much, the delectable Toastmaster Craig Asode, Toastmaster of the Day, for that warm welcome. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and fellow Toastmasters. Will you go on? When life throws curveballs, as it often will, when lights flicker, sometimes dim, sometimes bright, when what surrounds you contradicts what you know to be true, Will you forge on? Will you go on? When plans go awry and horizons keep receding, when victories within your reach disintegrate at your touch, when images that are real suddenly become mirages, like sprites taunting your hopeful sight, will you proceed? Will you go on? You see, life never hands anyone its trophies. Success is forged in the crucibles of determination. The one who wins must master the storms, riding the waves of turbulent seas of experience. Triumphs are measured in the tally of battles survived, and the surmising of an accomplished existence is in its ability to try again and again. The journey to the end is seldom untroubled, but then whoever promised us ease. There is, however, a certain exuberance, a gratification and sense of elation that kindles and pervades the heart that endures and conquers. And so I ask, when the going gets tough, will you go on? Will you please go on? Over to you, the Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you very kindly for the unbridled exquisiteness of your performance, Toastmaster Ife. Toastmaster Ife, thank you very kindly for the exquisiteness of your performance. The one who wins must master the storm. When the going gets tough, will you go on? Thank you very kindly. Wow. Wow. This is exquisite, isn't it? You have kindled my imagination with your poetic words. All right. Fellow Toastmasters, we're now going to move on to the next presentation, and that will come from Maya Angelou. Toastmaster Francis, are you ready for that? Maya Angelou was born in 1928. She passed away in 2014. The title of this piece of poetry is Still Arise, which was published by Random House in 1978. Toastmaster Francis, are you there? Right, we're going to listen to this piece of poetry, and when we return, we'll carry on. Francis, over to you now.
You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? Just because I walk as if I have oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my sassiness upset you? Don't take it so hard just because I laugh, as if I have gold mines digging in my own backyard. You can shoot me with your words, you can cut me with your lies, you can kill me with your hatefulness, but just like life, I'll rise. Does my sexiness offend you? Oh. Does it come as a surprise that I dance as if I have diamonds at the meeting of my thighs. Out of the huts of history's shame I rise. Up from a past rooted in pain I rise. A black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling and bearing in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear I rise. Into a daybreak miraculously clear I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the hope and the dream of the slave. And so, wow.
Whoa! Wow! Exhilarating. That's a piece of poetry that espouses the nobleness or the nobility of the human spirit. It was published in 1978. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries. Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it all for heart, because I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your own words. You may cut me with your own eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still like air, arise. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to delve into the third presentation now, and it's going to come from a stunning, breathtaking gentleman. He's currently serving as the president of Sunshine Toastmasters Club. He's a business growth consultant and a public speaking enthusiast. Ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman takes pleasure in playing lawn tennis. The title of his poetry is Signs of Times. Signs of Times. I present to you Toastmaster John Awode. Hello, John. John Awode, are you there? All right. It appears that John is having a bit of a challenge with his internet connectivity. I suspect it is crackled. Let's move on to the next presenter, and then we can come back to John. Our next presenter is Emmanuel Ifeanyichukwu Beloved. Emmanuel, incidentally, is a guest. He's an agent of inspiration and a catalyst for positive change. He's an educator, musician, and a poet. He's an aficionado of English eloquence. The title of his poem or poem is Success. Success, I present to you Emmanuel Ifeanyichukwu Beloved.
Thanks most graciously. I believe, jolly good afternoon to everyone. I believe everyone can hear me over there. Please, if you can you wave your hand?
We can.
Okay. I was kindled to write or scribble these lines after facing one or two, and fortunately I conquered. So I'll quickly do this. Okay. I looked into her eyes. and I behold her eyes, so cold, and her look so nice. Her gaze like the morning light, glaring like noon. Out of the blues, the thought to woo, boom, my head. As gentle as a lion observing its prey, I watched. On second thoughts, will she hear me? Will I sound bittersweet? I paused. As dumb as a face, I conspicuously looked at her. With a bright smile, like the morning light, I wave. Action speaks louder than words, but I pray she reciprocates no matter the odd. At the drop of a heart, she waved back. Wow, could this be real? Does she know exactly how I feel? It must be biting more than I can chew. Or could this be a blessing in disguise? I paused. A picture paints 1,000 words as her enchanting voice take over my thoughts. As the stab as a sea by an opposing wind, my thought ran into tears like a bucket of ice to an unstoppable dripping water. Come and rain in my word I craved as I looked into her blue sea eyes. Cursed in a voice like thunder, she sounds like a lion hungered. Is this fate? Could this be a bait to see if I can wait? Shake it up and try another shot. In the darkness of my thoughts, you are the light I see. I continue to persuasively communicate with her as my heartbeat races faster and I feel this numbness in my brain. Why stuck in the middle of an ocean with you I want to be, I said to her. Hunted by the demons of fear to die with you, I agree. Lay with me and whisper sweetly into my ears. With a detached but sonorous voice, I said, jealously fierce as the fire is my desire to have you. Our stars in the still sky, let's gleam. Like a struggling fish thrown into a clean water, she invigoratingly held my hand and said, yes. Swimming in the endless pool of enthusiasm, I screamed, I finally have her. She has approved to stay with me. Oh, my lady, success. Thank you.
Oh, my lady, success. Yeah. Thank you very kindly for that. It's the resilience that we have to go through or undertake to be successful in life. That is the essence of that magnificent piece of poetry. Emmanuel, thank you very kindly. And I'm looking forward to having you join our club in due course. We shall be delighted to have you. All right, let's move on now to John. John is there now. He's smiling like a Cheshire cat and ready to fire on all cylinders and kindle our spirit. John, over to you, please.
Thank you very kindly, and apologies for the drop off the other time. They attempted to knock me out, but still I rise. In the spirit of igniting, there are different ways by which we can be ignited. Toastmasters and guests today permit me to attempt to ignite you and have you kindled in your spirit with a warning. My poem is titled Sign, or if you like, Signs of Time. When the birds are barking, the cows are mewing, and the lions are bleating, you know that is a warning. The signs of time. We sit to make merry around tables of grapes and berry. We're alive, thankful for hope. We may forget that indeed man grew up. A fence with holes is a warning, the signs of time. Therefore, hold my hand, little boy. Don't say a word, keep it hush. We walk on the road of rocks, and walls here bear ears. To reach the end is fulfillment, and to find love and hope our strongest companions. Thank you, Toastmasters and guests.
Wow, thank you very kindly for that. To reach the end is fulfillment. Toastmaster John, bless your heart for this exquisite piece of poetry. Many thanks, you've kindled my spirit. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to move on to the last presenter, who is going to deliver a piece of music. And in my interaction with her, she mentioned to me that she released this song to celebrate her Golden Jubilee. Our last but not least presenter is Toastmaster Fumi Omotosho. Fumi is an entrepreneur and a behavioral coach. She is the Vice President Education-elect of our distinguished club. Fumi's recreations are traveling, reading, and singing. Her best liked quotation is, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right. The title of her piece of music is, I Am Gonna Make It. I Am Gonna Make It. Ladies and gentlemen, join me to entrust the spotlight to Toastmaster Fumi Omotosho.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Craig Esowode, for that beautiful introduction. It's surely rekindled my determination to sing this song. Thank you very much. Just like Toastmaster Craig just mentioned, this song, I released an album last month to celebrate my Golden Jubilee. So I'm going to be playing the music, one of the tracks in the album, I'm Gonna Make It, and I'm going to be playing it here and be singing along. Enjoy it and sing with me because you will certainly make it.
I'll be the best. I'll be the best. You can be the best version of yourself. There is hope for you. Don't give up. We're living though. It's better than the dead lion. He that is joined to the living,
there is hope.
Arise and be the best.
I'm gonna make it, yes, I know. I'll climb the hills and cross the mountains. I'll be the best that I can be. The Lord Almighty is my strength. I'm gonna make it, yes, I know. I'll climb the hills and cross the mountains. I'll be the best that I can be. The Lord Almighty is my strength. I will be the best because I'm a child of God. God's ambassador to the world. I've been taught to work at putting all my trust in Him. So I'm gonna make it, yes, I know. The Lord Almighty
Almighty is my strength. I'm gonna make it, yes, I know. I've got the spirit of a winner in me. Oh yes, I'll be the best that I can be. The Lord Almighty is my strength. I'm gonna make it, yes, I know. I've got the spirit of a winner in me. I'll be the best that I can be. The Lord Almighty is my strength. Let's sing together. I will be the best because I'm a child of God. God's ambassador to the world. I've been taught to work at putting all my trust in it. So I'm gonna make it, yes. You gotta make it, come on. The Lord Almighty is your strength. I will be the best because I'm a child of God. God's ambassador to the world. I've been taught to work at putting all my trust in it. So I'm gonna make it, yes, I know. The Lord Almighty is my strength. Come on, let's sing. I'm gonna make it, yes, I know. I'm gonna make it, yes, I know. Everybody, let's chorus it together. I'm gonna make it, it's my strength.
I'm gonna make it.
I'm gonna make it, yes, I know. The Lord Almighty is my strength. I'm gonna make it, yes, I know. The Lord Almighty is my strength. For the last time, let's sing it now. I'm gonna make it, yes, I know. The Lord Almighty is my strength.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Exhilarating, isn't it? Exhilarating. For me, I'm going to enroll on your singing classes. I didn't know that your voice is as sweet as wild honey dripping on a tree.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very kindly for that musical performance. Well done. Thank you very kindly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and that concludes the poetry and music presentations. We're going to delve now into the timekeeper's report. The timekeeper, how did all of the performers perform, with the exception of Maya Angelou, of course, regarding time control?
All right. I didn't know that I was going to be giving a timer report for all of this. All of them, they used time judiciously, I must say. Those who had, the first person had 2 to 3 minutes. He actually did his rendition for 2 minutes, 16 seconds. The next person, that was the video. The video lasts for just 2 minutes. So the next one, 3 to 5 minutes, took like 4 minutes. The 3 to 5 minutes, the fourth person just give us his poem for like 1 minute. And this last one, 5 minutes and 30 seconds. This beautiful song.
All right, thank you very kindly for that. That is invigorating. Trophy Master, please publish the poll and let's vote for the best performer. Trophy Master, publish the poll. We are gradually moving to the evaluation segment, and I can see that the general evaluator is smiling already like a chest shaker and getting ready to fire on all cylinders. All right. Have you voted? Raise your hand if you voted. Oh, splendid. Splendid. Fellow Toastmasters, friends, and guests, to cap off the meeting, we are going to listen to the reports of the meeting functionaries and the chief evaluator as well. Please join me to welcome back to the spotlight the beautiful, the bold, the brilliant chief evaluator, Toastmaster Zainab Adam.
Welcome once again, our Toastmaster of the day. You're taking us through a wonderful session this afternoon. So now for today, since we didn't have speeches, I believe we've all been having a wonderful afternoon or evening maybe by now. I'd like to share this quote with you before we start. It says that what you want to ignite in others, you must first burn inside of you. This is a quote by Aurelius Augustinus. So I believe that all of that we've listened to today has ignited in one way or the other, or has kindled a passion for us to keep moving forward and keep doing better. Hopefully find our calling, like Fumi Omotosha has found hers with singing. So moving on now, I'll be inviting my team of role players who helped in making this wonderful role of general evaluator a delight for me. So first, I'd like to call the quiz master before I call the other role players to give us the report of how we fared. So our quiz master again is Toastmaster Lucy Chima.
All right, thank you very kindly, General Evaluator. The timing report for the entrepreneurial speaking segment and the poetry and the music segment still remains the same. The meeting was supposed to start at 4 p.m. We started at 4:02, which was great. And we at 5:27, meaning we still have a lot of time to play with. And it's back to you, the General Evaluator.
Thank you very much. And that was, you have an impeccable timing skill, I must say. So now we'll be moving on to the quiz master. The quiz master and person of Toastmaster, Lucy Chima. Give us a report before we take the accounting and the language evaluation. Toastmaster Lucy Chima, are you on the call?
Good evening once more. I told you I was going to come back to do my evaluation after all the speeches. Now I will start with table topics. What books ignite and kindle Oluwatoyin Bolajoko's passion?
The Alchemist and Purpose-Driven Life.
Correct. Thank you. You listened very well. Then, when was Angelo born? Which year was Angelo born?
1928.
And she lived up to which year?
Oh, I can't quite remember that. 2000 and I think it was 2019, if I'm correct. Not sure.
2014. Oh. Yes. I feel numbness in my brain. Whose quote is this? And what is the title of that poem? I feel numbness in my brain.
Success by Emmanuel Beloved.
Thank you. Are you the only one answering? Oh, the great. Hey, when birds, animals make sounds, what does that signify? The sound the animals make, what does that signify?
The signs of the time?
Signs of the time, yes. What are those? What are those sounds they make?
Lions bleat. When cows meow. I can't remember the third one.
Yes.
Onomatopoeias.
The cockroach.
Yeah. Okay. The last but not the least, Fumi Omotoso gave us a beautiful song. And what did she say was her strength?
The Lord.
Yes, the Lord Almighty. Thank you. It showed me that a lot of people listened attentively. I'm so glad we come to the end of these quizzes. Thank you. The general evaluator.
Oh, that was a wonderful session. We've all had to practice our active listening skills at one point or the other. And then part of communication is to actually be able to listen. So that was a wonderful segment. Now we'll be moving on to the R Counters report. The R Master in person of Distinguished Toastmaster Monisola Ayesimoju. Over to you, Distinguished Toastmaster.
The general evaluator, Toastmasters and guests, congratulations. You all were so determined to kindle your performances that you discounted unnecessary sounds and words. Well done. Throughout this meeting, the only person who gave us that air is our president. What he kindled us with so much that is very much excuse. The general evaluator.
Wow, fantastic. So we're all, I believe we're all seasoned Toastmasters. By now we've been able to eliminate any filler sounds or crunch. That takes away quality from our speeches. And that is wonderful. So now we'll be taking our language evaluators report. Last but not the least, our language evaluators report. So our language evaluator for this evening is Distinguished Toastmaster RSB. Over to you, Distinguished Toastmaster RSB.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Chief Evaluator, Toastmaster Zainab Adam. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to confess that this is perhaps one of the most challenging evaluation sessions I've had to ever chair. I don't know why I accepted, because everything that is being said here, every single word that was uttered here today needed to be taken note of. But nonetheless, I'll just try and mention a few because we don't have hours to talk today. I'd like to mention that I liked that Toastmaster Oluwatoyin Bolajoko was able to differentiate between the pronunciation of use and use as between a noun and a verb. And Toastmaster Wale Thomas, I particularly liked your pose when you talked about living from your soul. Of course, Toastmaster Craig is always with us with a lot of flowery expressions, and he used entrust the spotlight to somebody more than once, and I think that was beautiful. Of course, he described somebody as an aficionado. He was describing Toastmaster Zainab, and he used a triad as well as an alliteration when he said that she's bold and beautiful and brilliant. And of course, I won't keep talking about all the many beautiful words that he used. When a speaker exudes comfort and confidence, and the disarming smile that was used by Toastmaster Kubi Uyanga, our president, Toastmaster Efe Fagbeja, she described Toastmaster Craig Esodi as delectable, and every single sentence she made was noteworthy, and that also applied to every poem that we listened to today. I think it was a disservice to myself that I was trying to catch up with all of those beautiful expressions. I wasn't even able to enjoy the poems. I was trying to catch up with them, and it was just like losing on both sides. As for the word of the day, it is amazing. Every speaker today used the word of the day, not once, not twice, not three times. I don't know what really happened. Everybody was mesmerizing me, but I won't forget to mention that I think perhaps the word was used the most by Toastmaster. Oluwatoyin Bolajoko, I believe you're a Toastmaster. Yes, you are. And I like us to note just one thing, please, the pronunciation of realize, and of course, somebody else pronounced it properly, success afterwards. And not forgetting that expression, last but not least. So we say last but not least, not last but not the least. That'll be all from me for now. Back to you, the Chief Evaluator.
Okay, so do we take a formal report for the other role players that gave their reports? Our time.
You can excuse them.
Oh, okay, that's fine then. Okay, so moving on very swiftly, I will be giving my report as the general evaluator for this evening.
Chief Evaluator?
Yes. Oh, okay, yeah. Go ahead. So I should call the trophy master, right? Okay. So now we're calling for the trophy master to vote for the best role player, right?
Absolutely. Best role player award.
Okay, so best role player award, our trophy master. Have we voted? So moving on. I will be giving my report as the general evaluator for this evening. So I joined in the meeting somewhere around 4 p.m. But then when I joined in, I realized almost all of the role players were already in the room. And that is commendable. It is great to be at a meeting that, especially because we say we're Toastmasters all the time and then we respect time. But it was obvious today at this meeting that everyone respected time because all of the role players were present and we're just waiting for the meeting to start, and the meeting started on time. He started at opened the meeting, welcomed Toastmasters, told everyone for the benefit of guests who were joining in where this club is at, Division F and District 94. And he told us what the Toastmasters Club is all about and what it does. And then he took the national pledge as well as the Toastmasters promise, which was great. Then he swiftly introduced the presiding officer and person of Distinguished Toastmaster Kubi, who came in, welcomed members, charged us with some inspirational nuggets to do better, and then to welcome the new Toastmasters year with a lot of enthusiasm. And that was great. And the Toastmaster of the day was introduced. The person was Toastmaster Craig Showade. He came in, he wowed us with a wonderful session, I would say. He constantly reminded us what the theme of the meeting was, which was to ignite. And then all of the things he said kept on reminding us that we needed to ignite our passion, we needed to ignite something needed to be ignited. And I'm sure so much was ignited today. He was engaging, there was so much enthusiasm, and he kept us all active. You could realize every single time he would say, give me a thumbs up, write in the chat box. So everyone had to be active. You could not just be at this meeting and simply do nothing. That was deep, highly commendable. Welcome to our Toastmaster of the day. And then the role players, I'll be moving on to the role players now. Our timer explained her role when she was called to introduce her role. She explained her role of the timer and told us the importance of timekeeping, which was great. And then when she was giving her report, for every single time she gave a timing report, the timing was impeccable. Even at the time when she didn't know she was supposed to be timing, she timed well, and that was really impeccable. A language evaluator also explained her role as the language evaluator, told us the importance of the language evaluation. She displayed the word of the day, she explained the role of the word of the day, which was Kindle, and encouraged all of us to use the word of the day as much as possible. And when she was giving her report, it also showed her active listening skills. She had paid attention to what everyone has said, and it made great sense. The R counter explained their role as the R counter and told us how eliminating these filler words eliminating these filler words from our speeches gives our speech a lot of quality, and which is really commendable. It's important that people know that the R's, because as Nigerians, I realized that we're so used to constantly using R's in our speeches, and that was great. The quiz master, impeccable listening skills, and then the session also allowed us to exhibit our active listening skills. One of the things I'd like to commend the club for is the ability to vote for role players. Ability to vote for role players. This encourages members who are going to be playing roles to continue doing so. I learned so much from the meeting, and The only recommendation I might have is to always remind people to, especially for the Toastmaster of the day, to remind people to always give a resounding round of applause, either virtually, especially because we are on a virtual meeting, to give a round of applause to all the speakers and all the poets. The poetry was wonderful. We had a great time. There was so much to learn, and we were enthralled all through those poems. Another last recommendation for the club would be to try and limit chats during speeches. This is no different from movement during speeches. It could also be a distraction because someone would be making a presentation and then words keep popping up on the screen. So by and large, it was a great honor for me to have played the role of the general evaluator for this evening. And now I'll be handing over to the Toastmaster of the day. Over to you, Toastmaster Craig.
All right, thank you very kindly, our Chief Evaluator, for your developmental and educational evaluation. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give her the thumbs up, everybody. Thumbs up, Zena Woda. Thank you very kindly for that.
Thank you.
All right, I can see that the Trophy Master is ready to announce and acknowledge excellence. Francis, are you there? Are you ready? Who are the winners, please?
Okay. We shall know the winners in a few seconds, but first I'd like the music to come up. Let's have more music, please, before I introduce the winners to us.
All right, that's all right. While you're preparing that, I'd like to inform our guests that Toastmasters is an international organization that was founded on the 22nd of October, 1924. The thinking behind the institution is to help its members around the world to enhance their communication, public speaking, and leadership abilities. Merit is one of its theaters of operation. Merit was founded in 2012. Ladies and gentlemen, our club today is the best under the aegis of Division F. We have members who have traversed the educational system. We have 8 of them. Our club last year produced a district evaluation champion. Our club has a palpable climate of excellence. I would recommend to our guests that you consider joining our club. I joined in 2017 and my life has been transformed. Francis, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right, please take the floor.
Thank you very much. Shortly, I have to play this. Okay, just 1 second. Okay.
I have vision, oh I believe. I know I can count on me. So stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up.
Please, we should
stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions.
So we have
stand up.
That Toastmaster Oluwatoyin just stand up. For the champions, for the champions. Congratulations to you, Toastmaster Toyin. Voted for the best performer in the poetry segment.
Now it's just who wants it most. It's just life, that's how it is. 'Cause Yes, we have our strengths and weaknesses. Oh, I have vision, look, can't you see? I'm on the move, make a way for me. So stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, role player. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up.
Our trophy master, thank you very kindly. That was lively. That was creative. Many thanks for that. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been great. It has been fun, but my time here is done. I hope that today's meeting has ignited your imagination or kindled your imagination. Those are synonymous words. I would like to end with the words of Sir Winston Churchill. Let's continue to practice what we preach and preach what we practice. Back to you, Mr. Presiding Officer, distinguished Toastmaster Kubi Oyanga.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Craig O. Esode, and congratulations to all our winners. Ladies and gentlemen, it's just 7 days to the end of the current Toastmasters year. And at this point, this is the last meeting Mary Toastmasters Club in this year. So I think it is an appropriate time to congratulate Mary Toastmasters Club, the Executive Committee, and its members on achieving the Division F Best Club of the Year award, which was presented at the just concluded Toastmasters Nigeria Conference, leading to transform the Toastmasters advantage in Abuja. Now, that award is a culmination or an amalgamation of the efforts and contributions of the club mentors, our executive committee, the members, even the Toastmasters, our friends that come to support us whenever we have meetings like this. I like to especially thank the executive committee who have supported the work that has ended up having us recognized thus far and giving us a successful year as a club. I single out for special recognition our Vice President Education and President-elect, Toastmaster Craig Esode, by the many eyes that he's dotted constantly, scintillating meetings like this today, and for the many T's that he has crossed to make sure that all the members develop educationally and achieve their education goals. Thank you so much for your contribution. The club is entirely indebted to you. And appreciates Toastmasters Dr. and Mrs. Moses and Celia Nabiku, who have been our gracious hosts over the years. Our facility, a physical meeting facility of Adeni Jones at Emeritus Residences, is very magnanimously provided by them, and they do this at no cost whatsoever, and their hospitality is very warm. As a club, we are very indebted to you. Thank you very much, Dr. and Mrs. Nabiku. Ladies and gentlemen, the next meeting of this club shall hold on the 14th of July, 2022, and it shall be a new Toastmasters year. But before we move on, I will not go without appreciating the many Toastmasters who have come today to support us, and those Toastmasters who regularly come to support us. Very specially, I thank Toastmaster Francis Ehiabi, the Vice President Education of Tutors and Trainers Toastmasters Club, who has been a constant supporter of Mary Toastmasters Club. I thank Toastmaster Josephine Agolo, who has always been ready and willing and enthusiastic to contribute to us. Thank you, Toastmasters Zainab Adam, John Awodeyi, Elizabeth Iwohia, Oluwatoyin Bolajako, Francis Ehiabi again, you deserve a second mention, and of course, Toastmaster Tosin Imogeme, and every other Toastmaster, member of the club, not a member of the club, and most especially our esteemed guest for joining us today. If you're a guest, please do not run off. After the meeting, our Sergeant at Arms and Vice President Education-elect, Toastmaster Fumi Omotosho, shall speak to you and give you the opportunity to share a few words. At this point, I like to move a motion for this meeting to be adjourned until next year, precisely on the 14th of July, 2022. Who would like to second this motion?
I, Monisola Yeshimoju, second the motion that our first meeting in the new Toastmasters year will be on the 14th July, 2022. Thank you, distinguished President.
Thank you so much, IPP. Signing out. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Wish you a pleasant evening. Over to you, Toastmaster Fumi Omotosho.
Thank you very much, my dear President, outgoing President. We will surely miss you, but you are still part of us.
I'm still here.
Yes, I know. As our IPP. Thank you very much. So it's time to welcome all the newcomers and the people joining us for the first time, most especially. If you're a guest on the call, could you please signify with a raise of hand? If you're a guest on the call, who is Uniqueness B30? Uniqueness B30@gmail.com. Uniqueness. Then, okay, I think that's the only person that is a guest that I can recognize. Does any other person, do we recognize any other person on the call who is not a Toastmaster? Liz Iwoha. Liz Iwoha. Are you there, please?
Yes, I am. I'm a Toastmaster. Good evening.
Oh, good evening. Thanks for joining us today. We'd like you to join us again. Which is the club?
Lento Toastmasters.
Oh, Lento Toastmasters, our friends.
Yes, we are.
Toastmaster Toyi Bolajoko is our friend. Toastmaster Josephine Agolo is our friend, our bosom friend, because she is always here with us. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you. It's been an honor to be here and to see our faces again. And congratulations to you, Fumi Omotosho.
Thank you.
Vice President of Education.
Toastmaster Francis, you started it. So let's welcome the guests. We'll talk more later.
All right.
Okay. If we don't have, do we, Miss Uniqueness, who is using the name Uniqueness B30@gmail.com? Are you here?
I am.
Oh, good. You are welcome.
Thank you most kindly.
Please, we'd like to meet you. Can you put on your video, please?
It's on, but I don't know what's happening. Perhaps network or something.
Okay. So we'd like to meet you. Tell us about yourself and who invited you to join.
Okay, I'm Emmanuel Ifeanyi Chukwu Beloved, and I am a lover of impeccable English, eloquent, and Mr. or Dr. Greg has been a mentor and someone who has kindled my passion for effective communication. So he was the one who invited me.
Okay, you're welcome, Mr. Ifeanyi Chukwu. So I can get your details from Doctor of Language, Dr. Craig Sowode.
Sure.
Okay, I'll do so. We'd like to invite you to not only join us for our meetings, but we'd like you to take that bold step to become a Toastmaster. When are you going to do that?
I will effectively work towards that.
Okay. We are looking forward to that. So thanks for coming. Try to join us again. And just like you promised, would like to welcome you on board, especially in the new Toastmaster year that we are just going into. Thank you everyone for coming. We have come to the end of the meeting. Do we have any other guests here? Okay. No one. Thanks everyone for
allow Tosin to speak. Tosin Mogeme.
Tosin Mogeme. Please, we'd like to hear from you. Toastmaster Tosin Mogeme. Are you there?
Not at his desk.
Okay. All right. Toastmaster Tosin is not there. Okay, thank you, everyone. Once again, Toastmaster Francis, thank you very much. Toastmaster Josephine, thank you very much. English Doctor, thank you. DTM Kubiu Yanga, Toastmaster Liz Woha, Toastmaster Razak Odejai. Toastmaster Razak, good to have you here. How are you? Okay, he's not at his desk also. Val, Toastmaster Val Adimu Lovett.
Toastmaster Fumi, thank you very much. I'm well, I'm fine.
Okay, Toastmaster Razak, thanks for coming. Toastmaster Val.
Congratulations on the release of your music. I enjoyed it.
Thank you. Toastmaster Val, where are you? Toastmaster Wale. Where is everyone? Where is Toastmaster Val? Toastmaster Val, hello?
Val is back.
Hello, Val.
All right, Josephine, thank you very kindly for your performance throughout, and Francis, well done. Thank you very kindly. Bless your heart. Zainab, many thanks for obliging the request to come and play the role at our club today. Many thanks.
Thank you for the opportunity.
All right.
Evening.
Right.
Toastmaster Zainab, sorry I omitted your name. How are you, my friend?
I'm very well, thank you. It's so good. You're looking beautiful.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good to see you.
Right.
I would like you to come back again and again to our meeting. Thanks
I
for
look
coming.
forward to it. I look forward to it. Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good evening.
Same to you.
Right. All right, likewise. Val, welcome back. Val Adinu. Welcome back. We'll communicate later. Welcome back. Fumi, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I have to go now.
All right. Good night, everyone. Have a beautiful evening.